Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. First of all, if you like to support the channel and myself, the PayPal will be in the description, so thank you very much. I'm back with a brand new movie for you guys to enjoy. I got this some time ago, so here it is guys. What if Naruto was Dr. Manhattan? Yes guys, you heard that correctly. The movie. If you would like to see more movies and series like these that are created by your own idea, simply comment on any of my latest videos and I'll jot them down for future use. Also, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 more channels which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Symbol. So including this, that's 4 guys. The links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out and enjoy. So without further ado or wasting any more time, let us begin this brand new movie. Now guys. The heavens quake with thunder. A powerful boom ripped through the sky as the night was suffering a catastrophe from the heavens. Lightning shredded down to the earth. Thunder ripped through the air, quaking the land. It was a violent storm taking place. All those that found themselves outside on this night, well, it was terrible for them. Terribly so. One young boy was running, trying to get to some covers, trying to get somewhere where he would no longer be, well, drafted by the massive onslaught that rained from the sky. Unfortunately for him though, things weren't looking that good, not in the slightest. His area was unknown, as he was beyond any civilization at the moment. Suddenly, the ground beneath him shifted, showing that it wasn't solid earth, corroded after time, and due to the high rainfall, you could see that something had fallen on this small little entrance. And his weight was enough to give it way. He fell. Lucky for him, it was slippery. As it wasn't a straight drop, he slipped along the side and rolled, crashing as he finally came to a stop. Ow, he said, rubbing the back of his head as he pulled himself up, gazing around trying to pinpoint exactly where he was. As he took in his scenery, one thing though, he was just happy that he got away from that terrible storm that was currently laying siege to the land. Reaching up, he removed the cloak that was soaking wet. Even his clothing was soaking wet as well. He tossed the cloak in front of him on the ground as he tried to shake himself off. His face was revealed to show that he was nothing but a child. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed child, 3 whisker marks on both of his cheeks. His name was Naruto Uzumaki, and the reason why he was here, well, he ran away. That was some time ago he ran away. It wasn't that long, but around possibly a year now. He was done with it all. He was tired of it all. The looks, the treatment. It wasn't until he was 10 years old that he found out that he was a holder of the 9 tails. He found this out by accident. Mizuki, the assistant sensei, was speaking to Aruka about him. He had went back to the class to retrieve something that he left, and he overheard their conversation. Turns out that he had the nine-tailed fox. At first he believed that he was the fox, but after a little bit of research he learned that it was sealed inside of him. Not that there was any information on what he was. Perhaps there was a term for it, but he simply did not know. However, since he was very young, Naruto has been struggling with his identity, trying to understand what was his role, his purpose, trying to understand the hate. He was always trying his best to understand it all, but he was constantly failing again and again and again. He tried to lash out, playing pranks. He went silent. He always do things because he wanted attention, but he just could not get it. And this time around, when he learned that he was a fox, that it shattered something inside of him. It made him realize that if he was the villagers, he would never get over something that wiped out so much of their people and bring nothing but destruction to their village. So he did not believe they would ever forget and forgive. He spent months planning his escape, constantly watching, observing. When the time was right, Naruto snuck into a caravan that was rather well known for entering and exiting Konoha, so there wasn't much search there. And for the past couple of months he's been on his own. And it's been hell. Pure agonizing hell. He's been staying away from the more popular villages because he had no idea where he was. He was lost. He lost the map that he had. Even then, he still could not understand most of it. He was a child, but he was looking for something. Looking for a home, looking for a place where he would be accepted. A place where people would not see him as a monster. A place where he could start over, but for the past few months, he's been hunted by animals. He's been attacked. He's been hit. Well, it was horrible. And not to mention he ran out of good sustainable food some time ago, having to survive off the land, fruits and things that he found. And it's been horrible even now, as his stomach cried out for food. He had to withstand the pain. Naruto had no idea where he was, but he could stay here for the night. At least he would not be swept away by the rain. What is this place, he thought to himself, gazing around at all the machines. He was unaware that this was a science lab, once owned by a very twisted man, but abandoned due to its failure. However, there were still a lot of things in here that were useful, as Naruto would soon come to find out. As he stepped forward, gazing around, he noticed a strange chamber, like a pod, as he saw some writing there. This lab once belonged to Orochimaru, as it was to help him ascend beyond, well, the normal human capabilities. The chamber that Naruto was looking at in particular was to push the boundary of the human body, accelerate one beyond their natural limits, allowing them to grant the ability to break down their own molecular structure to become something that was greater than they are right now. Something unaging, something perfect, something undying. The Sannin had a true obsession with immortality. However, like many things that he tried when it comes to immortality, this one was a failure just like the others. The fainted kanji was on the wall, as it read, Quantum, Fusion Reactor, Prototype, as Naruto stepped closer towards it. Inside the chamber there was a tall, circular, glass cylinder with all sorts of circuits that were lining the floor. Due to it being completely closed right there was no dust inside. Naruto did not see, but there was a page ripped out from a book, written by Orochimaru himself, on the table. As it read, Warning, incomplete, chakra consumption, do not activate. The effects of this chamber, well, it killed everyone that Orochimaru tried to test it on, because the whole thing was a drastic failure. Yes, that is one of the main reasons why he abandoned this place. Out of pure rage. Another one of his chance failing like that. As he had tried to harness the flow of chakra and matter itself, adding with the atomic energy, trying to fuse them with his soul and chakra, and blending the matter into himself, becoming something that he could change with his mind. But he failed. And thus, all the equipments and the machines, they slept in here, as Naruto Uzumaki was the first to lay eyes on them since Orochimaru. Naruto took another step and stepped on his own cloak that he threw earlier. It was soaking wet as he slipped. He slipped hard. He slammed into the control panel with his elbow. Sparks fly as the old machine groaned to life. The Sannin had made sure that his prisoners could not escape due to him being a distance away from the machine, not wanting to suffer the side effects because he was not fully trusting the experiment. That is why, when the ceiling door opened up, for the first time in such a long while, Naruto saw the faint blue light. A steel claw. It shot outwards and gripped Naruto around the stomach. Same thing Orochimaru did for his prisoners. It pulled him inside. He tried to punch it. He tried to pry it off, but he failed. The moment he was brought inside, the effects started to connect to his body. And that is where the abnormality happened. The power of the nine tails coursing through him. The residue chakra of his father and his mother, and Naruto unstable emotional frequency at the moment. They were all amplified by the machine as they twist into something beyond what Orochimaru thought. Greater. His expectations were limited, but this was different. Greater, further, deeper, unimaginable. Naruto released a scream as the machine activated fully. His soul, his body, his chakra network is torn apart, breaking down into atom particles. He was gone. Completely. Hours pass, and Naruto was still gone. Days pass, when slowly, we start to see a flicker of blue lightning, and blue energy coursing into reality. Something formed, what seemed to be the nervous system of a human child. It was him. There was no flesh, no bones, just the connection from his brain, his eyes. He screamed but no sound came. But then the sound came that shook the entire lab. Naruto was once again gone. He was here. He was alive and dead. That is what he believed, as he could feel his connection with the outside world, and yet he could not see it, but he could feel it. He could feel that he was still there. His mind was operating on a different level as he started to see things, understand things, combining things. His mere understanding, his knowledge. He had to try. The next moment, you could see the rift in reality once again as a construct started to form, creating matter out of nothing that was there. On the atomic level, reconstructing himself piece by piece. By the time Naruto was done, he collapsed on the ground. He was shocked, surprised. As he picked himself up, he was no longer the same. He wasn't wearing a shred of clothing. He had no hair. His eyes were glowing white. Confused, Naruto could see himself despite there being no mirrors. He could see himself. He understood what he did to the finest detail. But he simply could not understand how he did it. He was shocked. He was confused. Everything felt so different, so new, so eye-opening. What the hell was going on with him? Naruto kept on flickering, in and out of visibility. His hand faded through the ground, but his body remained on the surface. He pulled his hand out as he pulled himself up completely, observing the surrounding, confused, so confused. Naruto wanted to take a step, but the next moment, he phased through the wall. He looked up to see the bright sun. What's going on? Where is the rain? He couldn't understand. Naruto turned back as he found himself back in the lab. What's happening? He wasn't moving. What? He didn't understand. His mind was spinning. He started to hear it. The movements of the creatures in the forest. The movements of the ants underground. He could hear the chakra humming through the trees. He could hear the chakra in the ear. He had to calm himself down as the sound slowly started to decrease, piece by piece. He looked down, but time started to fracture for him. He saw the past. His hand in the past, his hand in the present, and his hand in the future. He immediately looked away, rubbing his eyes as he tried to stay focused. What's happening to me? He said. I don't feel hungry anymore. I don't feel cold. Am I still Naruto? He questioned himself. He stepped back to brace himself. However, he accidentally disintegrated the wall. Naruto was flabbergasted, shocked, as he looked at his hand. He screamed in fear, but no sound came out, only energy. And that energy erupted like an explosive bomb. He closed his eyes shut, afraid that someone had dropped a bomb on him, but when he opened his eyes, not just the facility, but the entire forest was gone. Looking up from a bird's eye view, Naruto had created a trench. A massive, deep trench. Due to his teleportation, he did not even notice as he was back on the top surface. The hole, something that would be known as a monument site, something that would be known as a wonder of the world, as it wasn't even factually possible for Shinobis to perform such a feat and destroy so much land mass in a single blow. And I'm talking about Shinobis in the nowadays age. So yes, this was something truly, utterly frightening. Time skip. Weeks passed by. Naruto finally gained some control over himself. First thing first, his hair. He tried to make it back as it once was, but his hair was now bright blue instead, as he found himself actually not feeling so bad about the color. As for his skin, he returned himself back to normal. He could literally change his molecules. He could do almost anything with his body. He could grow another arm. It was mind-boggling to understand. Weeks of trial and error, Naruto found himself understanding a bit more about himself. His eyes, no longer having a pupil though. They matched his hair as they were completely blue. His eyes looked like he was constantly surging with power, as he did not really widen his eyes that much, because seeing things was becoming rather strange. Even with his eyes closed, Naruto could see, because he could map out the entire place. It was like he was always seeing no matter what, like nothing could truly block his vision. He was different. In every single way of the word, he was different. He was no longer the same. And he learned that, more so when that bandit tried to rob him. It was a week ago. Naruto had constructed a cloak, literally creating a cloak just like that, cloaking himself as he found himself making his way through a forest area where he found himself attacked by a bandit. His goal was clear. to rob Naruto of all that he possessed. Naruto was afraid. He wanted the man to get away. He thrust his hand out. "Leave me alone," he said. The man screamed. Naruto watched as the man unraveled in front of him. Naruto stood there shocked. The bandit who had tried to rob him. Instinctively, Naruto waved his hand and turned the man into blue dust. He disappeared. He undid him. Naruto was stunned. From that day on, his capacity was growing in a way that should not be possible. He understands things, he sees things. His mind was constantly evolving, again and again and again and again. Given his rather short stature, seeing that he was still a child, many people saw him wandering through their street, believing that he was just a passerby, having no idea what he truly was. Naruto himself was still a bit iffy on what he was, but there was one thing he knew for certain though. He was different. He no longer needed to eat or drink. It's been weeks, and the feeling of hunger has not reached him. Not even once. He wasn't thirsty, he was completely fine. As he learned to stabilize his form, no longer flickering, the world felt smaller, slower. He began to understand chakra on a level that no one could. He started to see the flow of people, like one would see the flow of water, the air blowing, the earth moving. He started to see the very oxygen itself. He could see everything. Naruto could see the withering trees, seeing the tree dying out, and this was not his time. His eyes could see beyond the comprehension of time itself. The more time passed, the more Naruto found himself astonished by what he has become. Truly so. Naruto rested his hand on a bird with a broken wing. As he healed it, with nothing but a thought, Naruto was shocked. Speaking of thoughts, he understood everything. The fox was no longer inside of him, but he understood it. And he knew of his parents as well. Naruto could perceive their time through his eyes. He could see the moments. He could understand the moments, not just their memories. He could see their time. So Naruto tried to bring them back. He did. As Naruto brought constructs of them through their time itself, using the faint chakra that was resonating through him, as he tried to bring them back through their chakra, but still new and inexperienced. Both mother and father crumbled away in front of his eyes. They had no soul. Even that grew his knowledge. I can make almost anything, Naruto thought, but not what I want the most. As of right now, he had no idea how to recover their soul. But he could, couldn't he? But as he thought about it, why would he do that? They were both gone now. They were both perhaps happy. They both gave their life to save him. Wait, his father. His father was stuck in the stomach of the Shinigami because he gave up his life for him. Naruto would not bring them back, but he would find a way to free his father so he can be with his mother in the afterlife. He deserved it. They deserve to be happy. Whatever he is right now, he was not sure, but he has the power to do the impossible. And he would. Yes, he would. Time skip. Minato's soul is within the Shinigami's stomach due to using the Death Reaper's seal for the Ninth-Tail attack. The Shinigami, the dead god, had his soul, and no soul can escape once consumed unless something beyond death intervenes. However, Naruto was no longer a boy. Despite looking like one, he wasn't one anymore. In a matter of weeks, Naruto had grown exponentially, to the point that he believed that he could retrieve his father's soul without any repercussions, despite the dead god being the one that holds his father's soul captive. At the moment, Naruto appeared on top of the Valley of the End. Yes, on top of the head of Hoshirama Senju. He could see Konoha from here, despite not needing to be here though. But he was looking at something, his father's face on that monument. Naruto proceeded to close his eyes as he reached outwards, connecting to his father by his chakra. A small piece of him. I can see him, bound, screaming in silence. He never stopped protecting me. Even in death, Naruto spoke to himself. Naruto slapped his hand together, and when he pulled it apart, the seal that Minato used to summon the dead god could be seen. Naruto studied it, he understood it. And now, Naruto gripped space itself, forging the seal together, the link that he needed, and with that he split the space open, creating a little rift between dimensions, this world and the world of the dead, where the soul was currently waiting for him. Naruto walked through, not teleporting, manifesting within the plane of sealing souls, a realm of swirling black mist, glowing kanji, and thousands of lost spirits. At the center, the Shinigami, a monstrous skeleton titan with hollow eyes, bound in ceremonial chains, surrounded by thousands of souls, calmly inside and captivated within him. Minato was one of them, bound, glowing, his eyes closed, still holding the seal to his chest, bound in the same position, the sacrifice that he made. The voice of the Shinigami ripped through. The manifestation that came to the elemental nation was just that, a manifestation to keep the eyes of the one that summoned him from not completely tearing them out and canceling the project. Well, the contract must be set, because this thing was horrendous. Mortal child, child of the light, you are not meant to be here. Naruto was calm. I am not a mortal, said Naruto. After the, months he's had already since his development, Naruto doubt he was a human anymore. Stepping into my domain, there is only one thing that would be done. The Shinigami raised his hand and summoned over 1,000 blades. You could see the energy of death coursing through them. Naruto calmly raised his hand though, and they froze as they broke away into particles of dust, like it was nothing. I am not here to fight death. I am simply here to undo one mistake, Naruto said. In an instant, Naruto was in front of his father, right next to the Shinigami. He tried to touch his father, but the kanji of death showed up. However, Naruto's fingertips started to glow blue. As he bypassed the laws, he began to speak within the code of death and life and chakra itself. Matter is energy. Chakra is will. The soul is a choice. I choose to bring him back, said Naruto as he ripped the seal off his father. The chain shattered. The Shinigami's stomach shook, as this entire place was a part of his stomach, causing the entire reality to shake. However, what Naruto did was not something that was simply allowed to happen. The voice of the Shinigami boomed. To free one, another must stay. Naruto smiled as he looked up towards the Shinigami. Then take me, said Naruto. The Shinigami looked at him as it saw that Naruto was not a soul, not a body, but a quantum being, that it was infinite. It cannot consume him. The Shinigami looked at Naruto as he grows silent. Minato finally opening his eyes as a chain fell to the ground. The last remains. The moment he saw Naruto through Naruto's eyes, Minato understood who he was. Naruto? Is it really? How? It doesn't matter. I'm here to end your suffering, said Naruto. As he looked towards his father, I will make sure that you suffer no more. He gazed up towards the Shinigami, who continuously watched him, without a word, without a sound. It was observing him. It had its reasons. Naruto reached out to his father. Minato's hand looked towards his son's hand and reached. Both of them looking towards the spectral of death. Taking his father's hand, Minato was encapsulated with energy. The next moment he was gone. My thanks for not trying to stop me, said Naruto. The Shinigami grew to its full height. Each step it took shaped the very essence of this reality. It lowered itself inches away from Naruto. The end, the beginning, and the present. That was all the Shinigami said to Naruto. Naruto looked at it. As he observed the creature, he observed its connection before he started to slowly back away. Naruto turned his back and made his way back through the rift. Once back in his world, Naruto held his hand up as Minato emerged out of energy. His form, not connected to this world, but due to the blue energy that surrounded him, he was staying here for now because Naruto wished to speak with him. Everything was frozen as Minato and Naruto stood there. Minato looked around. The scenery started to change. The garden beyond. The both of them stood in a lush, wonderful garden. Trees and everything. He looked at Naruto. Who are you? He said. Naruto looked at the man and placed a hand to his shoulder, having grown to reach Minato's height. You see, the moment a soul is taken away from the Shinigami, all that they went through within its domain, it is all blocked away. So Minato did not know who Naruto was. Naruto did not wish to inflict the same memory pain on his father, so all he allowed him to see was his rescue and who he was. That's impossible, he said. Not for someone that possessed the power that I do. He looked at Naruto with a shocked look on his face. You're really my son, he said. Tears in his eyes. Yes, I am. And you are my father, said Naruto. I don't understand. You were a baby. I sealed the fox inside of you and now I don't understand. I'm different now. I've grown, said Naruto. I've changed. But I want to understand the path that you picked for protection. What do you mean? They hated me, Dad. They feared me. They isolated me. From the moment I could talk, from the moment I could understand, they hated me. No. The third was supposed to... Naruto cut him off. He did nothing. I was attacked more than once. I was overcharged, meant to starve. They look at me with such venom, such hatred. I was always alone. I want to understand the choice that you made. Minato dropped to his knees. I failed you, he said. I never wanted this. We gave our life for you. To be seen as a hero. A hero doesn't hide away from the people. A hero does not fear his birthday every single time it arrived because that is when they become the most dangerous. And the hero does not know why this is happening to him. Naruto said. You could see the effects it took on Minato. Those words hitting him deep. However, Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. A lot has happened to me. And I've seen things and I now know things that I never thought was possible. Even freeing you from the Shinigami. I don't blame you, said Naruto. You and Mom. You gave me life. You gave me hope. Even if the world did not. Minato choked up. You grew up without us. And you still saved me, he said. I wanted to hold you, said Minato. I wanted to be there for your first words, your first step. But I missed everything, he said. I used to dream of coming home. Seeing my parents. Seeing the both of you happy to see me, said Naruto. But I know that it's not a dream that I would ever have. But I've come to accept it, said Naruto. Because I know without a doubt that you and Mom love me. Of course we do, said Minato. I know, said Naruto. You don't have to explain yourself. Giving your life without hesitation was enough to make me understand. Minato looked up with tears. I'm proud of you, my son, he said. No matter what you've become. Even if I'm not human. You're still my son, said Minato. Naruto smiled. Minato got up. Will I ever see you again? He questioned Naruto. Not sure if Naruto became something that could actually ever truly pass on. I am existing beyond time, said Naruto. More and more. The more I go, the more I can see everything. Eventually, I will be able to view it all. But I can feel when I'm near you, said Naruto. Then promise me something, said Minato. Don't forget who you were. Even if you become something greater, remember who you are deep down, he said. I remember every single moment, said Naruto. Painful and joyful. Naruto looked toward his father. But it's time for you to rest now. It's time for you to be happy. And tell Mom I love her, said Naruto. I love you both, Naruto said to him. Minato turned. He could see it. He could feel it. He looked behind him to see Naruto fading away. Goodbye, my son, he said. Goodbye, father, said Naruto. As Minato stepped into the light, vanishing away, as he saw her, his beautiful wife, he scooped her in his arms as he held on to her. Back with Naruto, he gazed up toward the sky as a tear dropped from his eye. He was smiling though, in happiness, as he just watched the heavens. He stood there until the day break, as the sun emerged, bathing him with the beautiful rays of the light. And he was gone. He was gone. Time skip. His father's words stuck with him. Naruto never truly desired anything except for recognition, but now that seems so limited and pointless in every single way. He knew that the more time passed, the stronger he grew, mentally and physically as well. He decided to wander the world, to try and understand. As Naruto found the man that was searching for him, Jiraiya of the Sannin had received the call from Konoha, hearing about Naruto's disappearance. He's been searching, but he was wildly unsuccessful. Naruto has been, even before this, he was within the, uncivilized area of the elemental nation. He was hiding away from the villages because he feared that Konoha could find him easily that way. Jiraiya was currently drinking in a bar when someone came and sat down next to him. A brown-haired, brown-eyed individual. The man raised his arm to the Sannin, simply acknowledging him. Jiraiya simply gave him an acknowledgement back. The Sannin was a bit under his liquor. You seem like something is wrong. What's wrong? He said. I have no idea who you are. Why would I tell you anything about myself? Jiraiya questioned the person. Usually he was a rather nice-going individual, but not in this moment. Well, sometimes it's best to simply talk about what is bothering you. Perhaps it's because I'm drunk, or getting there, that is why. I haven't moved yet, said Jiraiya, but you want to know what's wrong? I'm a failure, he said. He laughed as he said it. Why do you think so? I have failed in every single way. I failed to get the girl of my dreams. I failed to get the boy that I saw as my son. And I lost my godson because I wasn't there. I would say that it's because I had to work, but in truth, most of the time I'm simply peeping on the ladies. And let's take it straightforward for what it truly is, being a pervert. Most of the times I'm doing that. I mean, majority of the times I am. And not even once. I know that he couldn't know the truth because it's dangerous, but I could at least been there, show him a few trick or two, to make him know that he's not alone. He left a note addressed to the Hokage that he could not take it anymore. You want to know something strange? It took a week for anyone to know that he was missing. A week! Yes, the villagers. They seemed more happy, or perhaps they didn't care, but he used to skip school, he used to move all around. But no one really got him, no one really know him otherwise. His friends or people that saw him as such would have noticed he was gone. Even the Hokage believed that he was simply out and about. And what was I doing? This. Drinking, whoring around, peeping on the woman. So if you want to know how I'm doing, yeah, that's how I'm doing. Pretty pissed off. Now get the hell out of here, said Jiraiya. You know, the man's voice suddenly changed. I have to say, I didn't expect this. Or perhaps I did. Jiraiya's eyes narrowed despite the liquor. However, with a simple touch, all the alcohol left his system. He was sobered up instantly. Confused. Why don't we have a little conversation, said Naruto. Not here. The next moment, the both of them vanished. Surprised in the populace. Jiraiya found himself a few distance away from the bar. Well, who the hell are you? He said, backing away. There's no need to fight. I'm not your enemy. Naruto said, reverting back to normal. Jiraiya had no idea who he was. Ah yes, still a bit different. He said, allowing his hair to turn blonde, his eyes to turn back to their normal color. The Sannin was stunned. Until Naruto's hair turned back blue and his eyes turned back blue. And there was also a circle on Naruto's forehead. He looked at the man. Naruto? Is that real? Yes, it's me. What? I don't understand. A lot has happened to me, said Naruto, his arms folded behind his back. But there's one thing you should know. I'm not the same anymore. And returning me to Konoha is not possible. For more than one reason, said Naruto. Jiraiya was confused. Naruto looked towards the man. There's no need to beat yourself up. Jiraiya was quiet. I wanted to see you with my own eyes, so I can understand you, and now, I know. You hate yourself more than everything. This facade, this act that you put on is rather good, but I can see you for what you truly are even without your words. You're depressed, you're sad. trying to find meaning, trying to find happiness. But day by day, that is getting harder. I used to be like that once, said Naruto. But things are different now. And I'm currently on a journey trying to understand my purpose and my desire in this world, Naruto said. And beyond it. So don't beat yourself up for me, said Naruto. You're already so conflicting, you're already so broken by the thoughts of the past that you add more to it was simply force your life to have less meaning, said Naruto. I know even though I'm going to say this, you're going to still try and track me down. And I have no problem with that. Having a connection like my godfather in this world, it's good for me, said Naruto. But my actions that will follow after our conversation, good or bad, I'm doing it for the betterment of change. Because while alone and while neglected, while feeling like I have nothing, that was the most horriblest thing. Not the pain, not the anguish, not the neglect, it was being alone. People shouldn't go through that, said Naruto. And time again, people are because of this world. For the past couple of days, I've traveled across this entire world. Jiraiya was stunned by that statement. And I've seen the wickedness of mankind. I've seen chaos, I've seen bloodshed, I've seen death. For the simplest things that simply don't really make any sense to me anymore. And I intend to bring changes, said Naruto. Of course, there will be some that resist change. However, I don't care, Naruto said. I was trying to find a reason why I should, but I realized I don't have to. Going mad with power always sound rather insane to me. People would claim that you are because you simply don't follow their rules, but I'm about to make sure that there will be great changes, said Naruto. Before I eventually pass on. Pass on? Don't worry, I'm not gonna die. But I won't be able to remain here for too long. I'm sure that this will not be our last conversation though. So until then... Wait, Jiraiya said I need to understand. How did you do all of this? I need to know. I've grown powerful, said Naruto. In ways that you can't understand. Here. Naruto threw something with a snap of his finger. It was nothing physical as Jiraiya was able to receive the memories of what happened to Naruto. By the time he focused back, Naruto was gone. What? The Sannin said to himself. Time skip. Ninjas were dying on the battlefield. As Naruto was walking through the chaos, a kunai landed next to him with an explosive note. It erupted. However, with a look alone, Naruto was able to conceal the blast into a pocket of space, allowing it to erupt but not explode outwards. Kunais were thrown. They turned to dust before they could hit him as Naruto walked. He already knew what they were fighting for. Land. Two nations, minor, fighting for land, earth and dirt. To them, they would kill, slaughter over this. Since his awakening, Naruto truly was astonished by the understanding and greed of mankind. Fine then, let's see what you do without it. Naruto held his hand up. The world took a breath. Naruto split the land that connected the both of them. And with a simple drop of his hand, he ripped it open. The entire elemental nation was shook as Naruto almost ripped the earth apart by literally rooting out the land and crushing it. As it affected the plates in the planet, causing drastic shakes all over. Everyone was astonished. The two villages found themselves parted off. Crossing that was theoretically impossible. They had to have Earth users create gaps between. That was the only way. They couldn't believe it. What was this, some natural disaster? Anyone that wanted to cross from here to here had to take the extremely long way around. But the land that they fought and killed so many people for was non-existent. It was gone. Months went by, and people spoke about the blue god that was roaming the land. The god with the blue hair and blue eyes. They shortened it to call him the blue god. Some claim that he was a child. Some claim that he was simply pretending to be a child. However, things became truly frightening when he destroyed a village. Yes, the village was known as Yamaka Village. Their leader was a horrible man. Crazy enough, many were unable to explain it, despite there being only 50% of the population that survived. And no one within that 50% remember their village being destroyed. No one within that 50% remember them having a different leader. They were confused when nearby people came after saying they witnessed the destruction from afar. It was confusing as no one could understand. The man that walked in the blue. His name was spoken even more as the nearby outsiders saw him. He did something to their memory. He wiped it. He erased half of their people for what reason they did not know. And the people there, they had no idea what the others were talking about. As if they've gone mad. Why would he allow the rest of the population to see or to know if he was only going to do that to 50%? They had no idea. At Konoha, the rumors reached them. But unlike many that wasn't aware, Jiraiya spoke to Hiruzen already. So he was fully aware of what was going on. Yes, he was. Hiruzen Sarutobi was shocked to hear what he heard, as Jiraiya was taken aback by what he saw. As Naruto showed him a glimpse, just a tiny glimpse. And the things that he saw was not natural at all. At the moment though, we find the land of Wave being protected by Team 7, a young boy named Sai, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno, as they were currently facing off against two very dangerous ninjas. One of them was Haku, and the other one was Zabuza. Unfortunately for them though, things didn't play out so good, as both Sasuke and Sai was being pushed back while Sakura was watching a client. However, Haku had to stop. Yes, he had to because his master was in danger. Then again, both Sasuke and Sai was still on their feet. Sai showing a remarkable strength for someone who was supposed to be a genin. Perhaps he wasn't. Kakashi Hatake killed Haku right there and then, ending his life by accident. Sai came in just in time to grip Zabuza with drawings that he created of snakes. He gripped him with them, allowing Kakashi to queue up and end his life, destroying him right there and then. However, no one seemed to notice that Haku's body started to float. Yes, a blue light surrounded Haku's body as he floated. Strangely enough, he wasn't bleeding as he should. Team 7 was left with a moment of silence until confusion set in. Sakura approaching, when suddenly she felt something beside her. Hello again. She turned as she saw the person. It's you, she said, looking towards the person that was standing there. His blue hair and his blue eyes. Kakashi Hatake became nervous immediately. seeing the person standing next to his student. Sakura met this guy earlier in the week when she went to the market with Tsunami. And she met this person. She had no idea who he was. He looked familiar, but she didn't know him. His name was... She couldn't remember. Wait, she never got his name. "What are you doing here?" she said. "Simply observing. Naruto has been here for 2 weeks. Him destroying a village was, yes, he did that. Testing his powers and fixing wrongs in ways that most people would see as inhuman, but the more time passed, despite still being mentally connected, Naruto was no longer physically connected. But now Naruto saw something that he wanted, and it was in Haku. Naruto has watched him, observed him for the past couple of weeks, and Naruto wanted Haku to become one of his acolytes. Naruto aimed for something great, something that, well, he was going to build. His desire, even now. The people around him, those that he could trust, those that he could rely on despite how powerful he truly was. That is why Haku's body was floating. Naruto stepped forward, the copy ninja watching him carefully. Naruto deconstruct Haku right there and then, breaking his body down into particles. With a single thought, Naruto started to recreate Haku, shaping his chakra, shaping his essence, his soul. Naruto's power has grown incredible. Naruto was operating on a quantum level in a way that people could not understand. Haku's body reconstruct, his clothing looking different. The symbol on his chest was the same one on Naruto's forehead. Haku opened his eyes, stunning all of them. Haku stepped towards Naruto. You restored me. Yes. You died and now you've been reborn. Naruto said, looking towards him. Both of them simply looked at one another. What's my purpose? I do not know, said Naruto. I made it so. I wanted you to have free will through connection. Tell me, how do you feel? Naruto asks. Different. Unburdened. Fresh. New. The words came to him as he looked at Naruto. That is good. I want you to become one of my acolytes. To become a part of what I seek to create, said Naruto. To become a part of what I seek to form. Their conversation was interrupted by, well, Gato and his man. Haku looked down towards the body of his once mentor, his teacher, his everything, but now he wasn't that person anymore. That person had died. He was someone else. He was something else. He looked towards Naruto. I gave you the will to do. Do what you must, Naruto said. Naruto wanted to try something. He wanted to know if loyalty truly went with just connection alone, or could there be connection in ways that people simply could not understand. However, for the person that he once was, Haku believed that he was still connected to do this for the passing of his once master. His desire wasn't to harm the Konoha ninjas. His desire was to harm the one that started this, the one that began this all. What's going on? Said Gato. Isabusa, be quiet. With a simple word, they could feel it, the chilling in the ear. His powers were no longer the same. Haku froze. The very ear itself. Literally. He literally froze the ear coming from them. They staggered, finding it difficult to breathe as he clenched his fists. He stepped forward, a wicked, cold man, he said, has made so many people suffer. I want you to feel it in your last moments. The true freezing touch of death. He held his hand out and without even touching him, Gato started to freeze. His blood freezing inside of his body slowly, causing him anguish, causing him pain that couldn't quite be described as it started to expand outwards. Gato collapsed. You could see his eyes frozen, his mouth frozen solid shut. He was no longer breathing, suffocating as Haku was regulating the temperature to make sure that he felt every single moment. He collapsed, dead, as he shattered into little pieces and broke away with the wind. As for the others, they started to collapse off the bridge one by one. When they fell into the water, their body became, think of it like a small piece of virus that would spread. But instead of a virus, they froze the entire water. It would not last like that forever, but Haku enjoyed the sight. He walked over towards his master and he constructed a frozen crystal around Zabuza and placed him on the frozen water and send him out into the abyss. Thank you for allowing me to end this the way I wanted to. I told you, it will be your desire, said Naruto. I simply wish to understand if you would be someone that would follow my path because I allowed you to glimpse it. In my previous life, I never had a true purpose other than to do whatever my masters say, but allowing me to see your goal, your plan, your fruition, I'm able to see that everything is much larger than I thought it was. And you gave me life. Your desire not to be bound to it is rather, well, unacceptable to me. I'm not sure what I am just yet, but you created me so you would not know either to see how far my loyalty would go. But my desire is to learn and to find out and try to achieve the look that you saw, the gaze that you gave me to witness. Naruto smiled when he heard that. It seems it is not just tied by our connection or blood. Naruto said, my name, I would like to keep it. Haku said. Naruto had no qualms about that. Kakashi Hatake was watching the two, confused, very so. The scene wasn't as gruesome as one would expect with committing mass genocide, but something was just not right here. Who was this person? He had absolutely no idea, as Naruto did not look the same way. He was much taller, looking like he was in his later teens. His hair longer. His eyes, you could constantly see the shine in blue. Not to mention his markings were no longer there, so Kakashi did not know who this was. However, when Naruto smiled towards him, in a different path, you would have been my sensei, Kakashi Hatake. But I suppose this is not it. You've done well taking care of your students, willing to risk your life for them. I found that admirable, said Naruto, walking past the man. Wait, who are you, said Kakashi. Naruto Uzumaki. The words shocked Kakashi, but before he could say anything, they were both gone. Just like that. Time skip. Before, I always believed that we were simply tools. Perhaps some of us truly are, and they accept that. Then why? Why this? Haku questioned Naruto. The true understanding of the human mind, the greed and lust. The stronger I become, the more pathetic it seemed to be to me, said Naruto. That is why we do these tests to ensure that even after our actions is made, true understanding can be seen. But they will see us as monsters, as harbingers of death. Haku said to him, if that is the case, it shall be done, said Naruto. Go ahead. Without a word, Haku rested both of his hands on the ground. This village was allied to the Land of Lightning. Due to their close tie, Kumo was a direct back for them, allowing them to target many over the years, reigning their allies' power over their targets, allowing many to bow to their women's cause, and the Land of Lightning and Kumo, well, they were agreeable with this because they reaped the benefit as well. And Naruto and Haku were about to change all of that with their simple action to cause more chaos. But this time around it was Haku. Haku froze the entire village. He encapsulated in a massive crystal ice dome. Every structure, every being inside, good or evil, they were all frozen where they stood. As Naruto held his hand in the air, the ground shifted and split apart, mountains rearranging and moving. Naruto rose the settlement upwards, creating a massive floating island with the thousands of people standing on it. A few Kumo ninjas within the vicinity caught up in it as well. Just like that, all concept of understanding changed. It did not take long. News and word spread almost instantly. Things start to become rather hectic. A glowing boy appeared and erased several. They became darker. The phantom child, the blue spirit, the ghost of chakra. He appeared in a rogue base, and people started to disintegrate. He walked through walls, he hovered above villages. He spoke in cryptic words and tongues. Every single village was being affected by this, as their words spread through. However, the leaders were taking this extremely serious. The council was gathered. Heroes and Sarutobi stood there. Everyone was becoming afraid. Things were becoming bad. It isn't often that one, capture an entire village, much less wipe out half a village and erase everyone's mind to make them truly not understand or know what truly happened. Things were becoming worse. Something has to be done. This power was upsetting the balance. The Raikage and his man came to a stop. No one should have that kind of power. Not even Jinchurikis. This is a joke, right? Oniki said on his end. He has to believe that it was a joke. Mei Terumi had not just recently come off of a civil war, and now someone having the power to literally reshape the earth like it was nothing was walking around casually. Raza, the Kazekage was speechless. What is this? What kind of person is this? Could they really be a god? Standing on his massive statue, the leader of the Akatsuki gazed outwards. He did not believe in this person. He's a false god, pretending to understand true peace when he does not. Investigation was underway, courtesy of Zetsu. As for Orochimaru, the very thought of what he was hearing was causing him to salivate. The Sannin was lusting, literally lusting for this understanding of power. Just who or what was this person? He questioned, truly desiring to know. But then the positive rumors started to spread. He healed my child. He saved me from a landslide with his voice alone. He saved me from being attacked. He healed my mother. He cured hundreds of a virus that has been plaguing a village for the longest time now. But why? How could he do such good things and yet subjugate so many people to a frozen? They did not even know if those people were dead or alive. They were simply frozen where they stood. So it was hard to truly understand what were his motives here. What did he desire? What was his cause? Everyone truly desired to know. Kakashi had told Hiruzen everything, so they had a faint idea who was behind the freezing. But the power that was so additionally boost, that meant Naruto could give someone power beyond their wildest imagination, increasing their power by 1,000 folds, able to freeze an entire village. Because the ice was not melting, that was simply abnormal, and no one had any true idea what was going on. However, surprisingly, at the Land of Wind, the daimyo of the Land of Wind has been doing some rather renegade moves lately. He was sending missions Konoha way because when he does, he gets compensating for them. Due to the high quantity of mission success, Konoha popularity was always big, but it was rising. Thus, the Sand was starting to lose out on a lot of mission. Their own daimyo of the land that surround them literally was sending missions to another village. That is why Rasa desired to see the Sand succeed more, and one of his own allies, Konoha, fall. However, the daimyo was not expecting two people to simply step in his quarters. The two guards that were always by his side immediately became alarmed. Their intention to stop this individual, but stop. Haku said. The breath that left his mouth froze them. Just the breath alone. As Naruto stepped past them, the daimyo fell out of his chair, afraid and terrified. You're him. But why are you here? People like you. You're one of them, said Naruto. You want to start a war, don't you? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Greed and lust. This is a prime example. He doesn't truly understand his actions, but in a way he does. Naruto said, speaking to Haku, yes, I understand. I understand what you mean. His greed for money, his lust for power, despite the people that are in his vicinity suffering. He doesn't truly understand because he's being paid. I understand, Haku said. But there is still so much confusion with the others. Are some people just truly broken? I'm afraid they are, said Naruto. Then why? Why don't we just eradicate all of them? Fixing. I believe we'll solve it for just a short amount of time. However, truly bringing changes, I believe that will do wonders, said Naruto. That is why we're not going to kill him. Naruto simply raised his hand, and the daimyo was bound. The decks in front of him unraveling as the molecules break down and turn into rope, wrapping around the man. The next moment they were gone. Naruto dragged the daimyo through the Sand Village. You can see it, Naruto said, what your actions have done, how the resources have fallen. A village that already suffered because of the lack of rain, and yet you want to make it even worse. People were stunned and confused until they realized it was their daimyo. Despite his actions, which many of the ninjas weren't aware of just yet, they sped in to take Naruto down. However, Haku, with a simple step, he froze the entire ground, literally. Despite the environment, he changed it. Everyone that was in the vicinity was frozen. Not dead, just simply frozen where they were. Naruto dragged the man across the ground until they arrived. Naruto tossed him through the window, shattering it. The moment him and Haku stepped in though, the mirror reconstruct itself. Raza was there, waiting. He did not want his village to suffer the same fate. That is why he was waiting here instead of launching an attack. So you've come, he said. To my village first, I must say. I don't feel honored. Given your past, attack. Attack? Is that how you see it? Haku said. Well, I suppose you would. He will, said Naruto. Although, there is no need to be afraid or gather your power. You can't harm either of us. Naruto said, releasing the daimyo. The daimyo opened his mouth. Be quiet. His mouth vanished away. His eyes widened in shock and confusion. Naruto could alter reality rather easily. Especially, altering a person was more easy than altering reality. As he quieted the daimyo by removing his mouth. I understand what you intend to do. Your attack on Konoha. You helping Orochimaru. Raza was stunned. How did he? Don't bother asking. Haku said, as I said, there is nothing to worry about. Naruto said to him, my action within that village is not the same reason why I'm here now. I am simply here to give you what you seek for the longest time now. Raza was confused. That was until Naruto closed his eyes. A wave. A blue wave emerged from Naruto and spread over the village. Within that moment, every single building within the sand village, every last one of them, broke apart. The citizens that were on second floors, they found themselves floating in mid-air, and the ones who were on the lower floors found themselves frozen where they stood. Raza and the daimyo was also frozen as well. Clear confusion as they did not understand. Naruto started to affect the molecules within, the particles that used to build their homes. The next moment their homes reconstructed, but the material was completely different. Not to mention the pathways, the sandy area, it vanished. Replaced with polished stone. For what reason? Clear confusion ran through many minds as Naruto floated out of the office that was now completely different. Haku by his side, Naruto held his hand out towards the far sandy area, ripping the chunk of sand out of the earth as he superheated it. Naruto started to bend and contract something massive in front of him. Massive steel pipes could be seen as Naruto allowed them to fuse into the earth. The next moment he flew straight up into the sky. Raza and the people that were now outside, which was everyone, all gazed up as they saw the thunder, the lightning, and a phenomenon took place. Rain. It was unbelievable. Naruto landed in front of Raza. The man was speechless. After he got his bearings in, he only had one word to ask. Why? He needed to know. Why? Why would he do this? Why would he offer them aid after he froze an entire village? Raza couldn't understand. You have what you wanted, said Naruto, for the longest time now. Your village is no longer relying on others for water. As you can see, I've created a system allowing your people to get the resources straight to their homes. Raza was confused, not understanding. As the rain poured, and don't worry, this won't be a one-time thing. The phenomenon of weather would behave the same as it does in the land of fire here. Why do this? What do you seek in return, said Raza. Nothing, Naruto said. And now, as I'm sure that you're aware, your daimyo will stop sending missions to Konoha. The daimyo looked towards him. I didn't say. Naruto looked towards the man. A horrendous scream released from his throat as Naruto turned him inside and out. His insides, his organs were on the outside as he was still alive. The next moment, Naruto returned him back to normal. The man was petrified. Would you like me to ask you again? No, please, he said, begging not to experience that pain ever again. As Naruto looked towards Raza, do with this as you please. Continue your war, continue your attack. Naruto said, walking away. Haku spoke. You would like to see, even with the advantage, if he will still choose the path that he formerly wanted to choose. Because you can see it, he said. Yes, said Naruto. I'm glad you noticed. You did this mostly for my benefit, why is that? Haku questioned. I'm losing it, said Naruto. Haku was confused in that moment. My touch, my empathy for humanity. The more stronger I get, the more I find myself not behaving the way I once did. Perhaps that's a part of the reason why I seek to bring you in the fold. Our connection is allowing me to remain as I am, despite my powers constantly evolving. I can tell what the end will be like. And I don't want that, said Naruto. I can feel myself slowly losing what I am. I can feel myself becoming completely emotionless. And that is not what I desire. But through you, I can experience, I can understand, allowing me to stay grounded, to stay connected to reality, and not simply destroy it all. Naruto said, perhaps I alone will be not enough. Haku said, looking at him. Perhaps, Naruto said. As he gazed outwards, perhaps, Naruto said, I would like to see exactly what another would do in my place with the time that I have. With that, the both of them vanished away. Orochimaru of the Sannin was trying to understand more. As the rumors were getting so great, the phenomenon of the rain falling in the land of, wind, that wasn't normal in the slightest. And people saw him, the blue god, walking through their street. Orochimaru had no idea where he would pop up next. He was just in and out. Hello there. The Sannin froze. The first time in a very, very long while, he's been this truly surprised. The Sannin was thinking within his mind, but there were others in the room as well. On one knee bowing respectfully was Kimimaro. The moment he saw the intruders, a bone was in his hand. He drived it towards Naruto's face. However, Haku grabbed it and immediately freezed the bone. He then waved his hand as Kimimaro was hit with ice spikes that formed out of the air. They pinned him to the wall. As he struggled to get free, Haku allowed the ice spikes to melt into his flesh, freezing his ability, literally taking away his bone pulse. As he allowed the density of the ice to increase, causing Kimimaro to drop to his knees, not killing him but keeping him frozen there. Orochimaru was smart. As he decided to play this in a respectful way, I must say, I am honored, he said, a smile on his face. Given your visit to a more important individual, I never expected to get one in return. Well, you're a very important man. Also, for my little test of understanding, I will give you what you desire the most, to see what you will do with it. Oh, and what's that? Naruto was in front of him. As he carved a symbol into Orochimaru's head, the same one that was on his, the circle with that little dot on it. The Sannin dropped down to the ground, but there was no pain. When he got back up, Naruto held his hand out. Orochimaru's chest was ripped apart, literally twisting in as a space folding on itself. The Sannin was shocked as Naruto ignite him, literally cause his insides to erupt, burning every trace of him. The next moment though, Orochimaru materialized, shocked and confused. "You're immortal," said Naruto. "This body of yours will never die. It will never age. You are truly unkillable. There is nothing that can kill you, nothing that can seal you. You will forever remain. Even when this planet is long dead, even when this universe has finally collapsed in on itself, you will remain throughout it all. You will be able to experience existence unfolding and starting anew. You will witness the time itself ending. You will witness the sun erupting, wiping out thousands, trillions, a total number that your mind cannot truly handle. You will watch stars ignite. You will watch planets explode. And nothing will ever be able to truly get rid of you." Orochimaru desired immortality for so long, but to witness that and to hear it, it was the way that Naruto spoke, the way he spoke. The Sannin was having a difficult time. He didn't understand why. This was what he desired. So why? Why was simple words like that affecting him so much? Orochimaru looked towards Naruto, hesitant in his eyes. "I can see it," said Naruto. "Perhaps a little demonstration is in order." Naruto held his hand out as he started to twist and turn space. Right there, Naruto created a different dimension. His eyes closed as he accelerated the time frame from here. Orochimaru was sucked into the vacuum. Kimimaro was shocked, confused. Haku froze in his mouth so he couldn't talk. "Where did you send him?" "In a place where time is accelerating. I want to see how long it will take, if it breaks him or if it drives him insane." Orochimaru found himself stranded in an empty field, confused, not quite understanding what was going on. When suddenly he heard something. He turned to see a ferocious beast rushing towards him. The Sannin hit it with a wind release, but the beast that had 4 arms, 3 legs, a monstrosity that he never witnessed before, it swallowed the attack. It then pummeled Orochimaru into dust, but his body reconstructed. Just like that, Sannin was fully aware that he wasn't in their world anymore, and he needed to find himself a way home. With that, Orochimaru decided to summon the snakes, but they weren't coming. Days passed and he realized he was stuck here until he found humans. At least they looked like humans. However, they did not speak. They were shocked when he hit them with a wind technique. They were wild, uncivilized. The Sannin taught them to understand, and they started to speak his language. He led them. He created army as he conquered the lands, taking over, destroying the creatures. Before Orochimaru knew it, 1,000 years went by. Civilization was booming. However, internal war started. Technology started to rise. Androids started to be created. Those that were taught the sacred art of chakra started to fight back. Civil war sent the world into chaos. Orochimaru was betrayed by people who he thought was loyal to him. He slaughtered them. He enacted a atrocity that eviscerate around 90% of mankind. He would simply start over. He was immortal. And again, and again, and again. Humanity kept on failing him. He tried to control them. He tried. But after a while, he started to go mad. No one should remain in power for that long. No one should have a grip on, well, immortality for that long. Thousands of 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 years went by. Orochimaru butchered the world. He flooded the earth. He grew so powerful that, with a simple wave of his hand, he could collapse mountains. He enhanced himself with android parts. He was a walking natural disaster. He split the earth in two, possessing the power that rival and go beyond any tailed beasts. He created tailed beasts of his own and devoured their power, using the essence of thousands of people. Civilization rose, they fall. They tried to overthrow him, they tried to lock him away. He crushed them, he wiped them out. Until there was a group of them that found something. They sealed him within a box. Orochimaru was able to escape, but what was there to escape to? He found himself empty, broken. And that is where he remained. By his own will, he lost his mind again and again and again and again and again and again. Until Orochimaru collapsed on the ground. For him, it's been so many years, but for them, it's only been 10 seconds. Orochimaru looked up. His beard was wild. He looked crazy. Naruto spoke his name, and all of that was gone. Yes, Naruto went into his mind itself and erased the strain, allowing him to remember without the mental break. Orochimaru got up, looking at Naruto. "I don't want this," he said. "Take it back." "Why? You desire this for the longest time now. Why wouldn't you want immortality?" Naruto questioned. "It wasn't a blessing. It was a curse. Time after time again. It all went wrong. No one should be able to exist for that long." Naruto simply looked at the man. Perhaps the human mind truly can't understand it. No one can," Orochimaru said. "So take it back. I don't want it anymore." Naruto stripped him of his immortality. The Sannin collapsed down, grateful. "So tell me, what exactly do you desire now?" Orochimaru truly did not know. He did everything. He tried everything. There was only one thing that he didn't do. He never relaxed. Even in the time of peace, he never cherished the time that he had because he was immortal. But now, he got to his feet. As he looked at Naruto, I must ask, what exactly are you? Something beyond you and everyone else. Naruto responded, "I must go," Orochimaru said. Naruto watched him. "Where is he going?" "I don't understand," Haku said. As Naruto gazed at Orochimaru, Naruto saw it. He did it. He found someone. Someone that cared about him, someone that he cared about. It was hard, but Naruto saw Orochimaru aging, growing old, having a child and passing on. Happy with the life that he lived. Perhaps humanity wasn't so bad off, Naruto thought as he touched Haku on the head, allowing him to witness what he was seeing. It changed him. Although it did take millions of years, Haku said in a rather sarcastic tone. Well, I could do that to everyone else, but not everyone desires immortality like him. But we are on the stepping stone of seeing something great. Naruto said, looking towards Kimimaro. There's no need to kill him. Releasing Kimimaro, he got up. What did you do? What happened to Lord Orochimaru? He's chosen another path. You, on the other hand, your path was always chosen for you. You never had one. However, Naruto held his hand out. As the toxin that was affecting Kimimara's bones was sucked out of him, I'm sure he can use a friend. There was no hesitation as Kimimara went after his master, willing to give up, everything just to be there as someone his master can rely on, someone that he can trust. Orochimaru, he was different. And the person that he was going to fall in love with, they hadn't met yet. Naruto turned. Perhaps changes can truly be made, he said. Let us go and see how my little project has been doing. Meanwhile, at Kumo, the Raikage found himself at his decks. He was being pressured by many. It seemed insulting to his village, to his people, that this happened and none of them can do anything about it. However, what was more insulting was Naruto simply walking through the office door. The door breaking apart into particles before reconstructing so solid that no one could breach it. Haku by his side. There was no hesitation. The Raikage sped towards Naruto. Haku stepped forward but time slowed down. Allow me, said Naruto. Haku stepped aside as Naruto dodged every blow the Raikage sent. Naruto dodged them, reading his pattern, amused as he dodged them all. The Raikage tired himself out, but he tired out too quickly. As he was confused, he tried to power back up, but there was no power, literally. I have blocked your chakra, said Naruto. Can you calm down, he questioned. The Raikage still tried to punch him, so Naruto immobilized him by turning his legs into the ground, literally fusing them to the concrete. Now, I'm sure you know who I am. You will pay for what you did, the Raikage said. Such an angry man, Naruto said. You know, out of the others, perhaps your anger is a bit justified. Then again, your greed is what blinds you. He desired too much power, despite having a lot already. Haku said, that will be his downfall. Who the hell are you? The Raikage shouted, my name is Haku. I was the one that froze the village. You? The Raikage strained to break free. All you're doing is causing yourself pain, said Naruto. Aren't you the bit curious why the village is frozen up there? Why I did what I did? However, the Raikage wanted none of it. All he wanted was for Naruto to pay for what he did. Naruto looked towards the man with genuine curiosity. Would you like me to do the same to this one? That shut him up. Being immobilized and unable to do anything about it, he found himself hesitating. Good, said Naruto. Now we can actually talk. The more words that left the Raikage lips, the more that Naruto understand that humanity was just greedy. Yes, Orochimaru might have changed, but it took millions upon millions of years for him to see that. The Raikage was proud. So proud that he was willing to condemn thousands, perhaps millions for his own well-being and his village as well. He would never bend a knee, and Naruto saw it. So Naruto decided to test the Raikage. His name was A, as he found himself home. He grew up in a world where there was nothing but chaos. People possessed special ability, but it was rare. Chakra was rare in this world. The government, the leaders, kidnapped those that had powerful affinity to chakra and used them, but he possessed a powerful lightning affinity. He found himself joining the rebellion forces and fighting them. He fought them. He grew in the ranks. However, a day came where he had to make a choice. sacrificing himself or, well, allow thousands to die. He did this for selfish reasons. He joined the cause because he wanted to be known. He wanted to be one of the best. From a young age, he was insulted, saying that he would never make any contribution to the world, but now, he found himself. However, as he thought about the people that he fought with, the sacrifices that were made, he made a choice. He exploded, taking down the regime, finally stopping the suppression that was keeping people at bay and holding back their power, creating a new civilization. Despite being dead, he was able to witness it all. He saw monuments rose in his name, people praising him for his great sacrifice for many, many years. The Raikage blinked, back where he was, as he was struggling to understand who he was. Was he A, the lone survivor, or was he the Raikage? Naruto split the two of them, literally, creating a new being right there and then, with his own consciousness, his own life. It was A, the one that died in that world. Both men were looking at one another, shocked, understanding each other completely. Confusion ran through the both of them as they looked towards him. I wanted to see what would you do in your situation, Naruto said. However, the Raikage only saw what A did 1 out of 10. For the other 9 times, he sacrificed the others in order for him to, well, take over and rule over the regime that was left. 1 out of 10. Naruto had to say he was disappointed. He merged both of them back together, wiping out the A identity. It is still something. 1 out of 10, Haku said. That's really pathetic, Naruto said. I'm disappointed, I thought. There would be more. But this is the true origin of mankind, Naruto said, as he looked towards the man. Naruto wiped the Raikage's memory. No one knew that him and Haku entered the village. As for the frozen village, Naruto erased it. Yes, he didn't just erase the people, he erased their existence in the timeline. They were never a part of history. He wanted to see the changes that were made because a lot of selfishness was taken out of this. They had Kumo as their ally to back them up. Naruto was surprised. This village might not be physically powerful, but they had a lot of influence in terms of their monetary status. Naruto was shocked when he saw that. He did not become the Raikage. It was his brother. Because of what Naruto did, a fight that would have taken place, a fight that would have destroyed the life of A's younger brother. Yes, he had a brother. Many did not know that. He survived because he did not defend the village. And he took the position. He was a different man. He wasn't like his brother, paranoid of everything. Naruto was more shocked when he saw trade routes were open up even more so. Other villages could pass through. Compensation was there for Kumo, but the Raikage A would have never trusted this. Seems small changes do have drastic on everything. It seems the world is much better off, Haku said. Yes, Naruto said. Changing the timeline like it was nothing, because it truly did not mean anything for him. The only one that remembered was Haku. Of course Naruto did, but Haku was the only other person. Due to their connection, Haku questioned him on his home. But Naruto really did not want anything to do with Konoha. He had made that clear a long time ago. It did not interest him in any single way. Besides, they had somewhere else to go. Haku looked around as he saw a monstrosity ripping apart the land. He was confused. as Naruto allowed him to understand what was going on. They were in the past. The Sage of Six Paths fought the Ten Tails and his mother. The both of them watched as the fight went on for days upon days upon days. Naruto was aware of the Otsutsuki, of course, but they were irrelevant at the moment until now. Naruto watched as the sage seal his mother away. However, he intervened. Naruto stopped the process. Yes, he stopped it, as he turned the Ten Tails into a much smaller tail beast, to the size where it could fit into his palm. As Haku held it, it looked rather cute in that way. As for Kaguya, Naruto ripped the chakra out of her, literally, severing her from her connection to her chakra, severing her from the influence of corruption. The sage was confused. Being a man of great power, when he looked at Naruto, he was afraid. Yes, he was. And with that, both Naruto and Haku simply disappeared. They returned back to their time, but nothing was the same. Everything was absolutely different. I don't understand. What am I seeing? Haku questioned. There is only one cemented time, said Naruto, but unlike others, I can see all the others that would have came to because of small little changes. And you can see them now as well. Haku understood as he gazed outwards to see exactly everything. The first was a world without chakra. No chakra includes no ninjutsu, no genjutsu, no sealing techniques, no tail beasts. Civilization advanced in a technological way. Science and technology replaced the shinobis. The hidden villages were never founded. No Konoha, no Akatsuki, no Raikage, no Mizukage, or no Hokage. There was still a lot of conflicts, but these were through human weapons, politics, human nature itself, but there was no chakra war. They stood in the middle of a futuristic world with major cities and technologies, but as Haku could see it, something was wrong. Hatred never left. Chakra was not the tool of war. It was just one of the other tools. He turned towards the other time that would have taken place. In this one, Kaguya was still alive, but powerless. She became a regular human. Her mind remained alien, but her power was gone. She tried to guide humanity, but they fear her. They hated her, and the cycle repeat. Over time, she was forgotten as a lost alien through history. The irony was, without chakra, the very thing she feared humanity would misuse. They simply misuse other tools. War, greed, conquest. Haku turned to the last one. It seems that Naruto altering things affected even the sage as well, because in this, he never existed. After that battle, something happened to him. His teaching never passed on. There was no sage. Humanity developed purely on technology and military path. And it was worse. There was no clans. No Byakugan, no Rinnegan, no Sharingan. No clans were there. It would have been peaceful in a way if you thought about it, but it was not. It was much worse. Global war. And without chakra, the population was almost extinct, not reproducing as much. And due to the high number of deaths, the entire planet was empty. Yes, they all were gone. Haku was stunned. All of this. And there was so much more. Humanity never, ever truly found anything anywhere close to peace. Is there even any way to truly say that there can be a peaceful world? Haku questioned. He saw that Naruto was smiling. He was confused. However, Naruto was simply happy because his lack of understanding, it kept him grounded and Naruto like that. Naruto erased the concept of him and Haku returning to the past. Because there was only one Naruto. There could never be another Naruto. His existence was through all reality. I believe you've seen enough, he said. What now? How about we make our own? Haku was confused, not quite understanding. It's my fear to lose who I am, said Naruto. I've already lost many things already. Connecting with a person physically or emotionally is not in my future. That is always existing. Connection is not there. However, I can still feel my humanity there because you and I are connected not by emotions but by the creation that I used to bring you back. Naruto said, and it is not just that you serve me because of my, will. You serve me because of your loyalty, which allow me to continuously understand humanity and not want to destroy it. However, I believe you and I could make something better, Naruto said. You've seen how things have changed in so many ways, and yet there is still so much chaos. Haku looked towards him. You want to start our own world? No. An entire universe, said Naruto. That will indeed take up a chunk of our time. Then again, even when the stars erupted, we will still exist. However, there are other realities, other things to understand. And because of your curiosity, because of your understanding of the human connection, I will still remain as I am. Haku was all up for it, believing that he saw the true depths of humanity and mankind, that he could truly lead something else. And with Naruto by his side, they could create something pronounced, something different. Both of them were more similar in a way than one would expect. You had things that take away one's mind from true understanding. Say rage. They could experience that. However, things like lust was something that would never bother them. While they could see the objective view from the human side, they could also put their own objective view on things as well. Naruto started the process by cloaking his body in the depths of the horrendous space. You could see the force that was coming from him. It was like planting a seed within the vast emptiness. As Naruto seemingly stepped out of this space and planted a seed which caused an explosion. Galaxies, solar system erupting outwards, all forging together by his mind, by his will, by his undiluted power. Naruto existed there. The past, the present, the future. The Shinigami came to mind. His words making more sense now than ever before. That was the reason why, because the Shinigami knew that it could not destroy Naruto because Naruto could not be destroyed. Naruto was linked to nothing. He was beyond everything and he could not be copied. He could not be replicated. And with his friend Haku by his side, they were going to start something new. An entire universe. But guys, the end episode right here, movie. If you want more movies like these, just simply go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family and post your ideas down below and I'll jot them down for future use. So without further ado or wasting any more time, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.